Good morning students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous class, we have seen that the tertiary sector has emerged as the dominant sector of the Indian economy. It contributes maximum to the GDP of the country. Today we will discuss several reasons that explain the growing importance of tertiary sector in the Indian economy. Let us come to page 24 again and start. In any developing economy, demand for basic services like hospitals, educational institutions, posts and telegraphs, banks, insurance, transportations, etc. are required. These are considered as basic services. In a developing country, the government has to take up the responsibility to provide these things. So naturally, tertiary sector becomes important. The development of agriculture and industry also leads to the development of services like transport, trade, storage, etc. Greater the development of the primary and the secondary sectors, more would be the demand for such services. We have already seen with larger output of wheat, demand for trade and transportation will increase. With the setting up of a new steel plant, demand for all types of services will increase. With the increase of agricultural production, we need cold storage. Let us see next point. As the income levels rise, certain sections of the people start demanding many more services like eating out, tourism, shopping, private hospitals, etc. Earlier, we used to go to Danigar, grandmother's house, or to some mama, or to some close relatives during summer vacations. But nowadays, families plan to go to some hill stations well in advance. Why? Because the income has gone up. Nowadays, people make frequent visits to McDonald's or KFCs. This is only because the income of some sections of the people have gone up. Also, many new services have emerged with the development of information technology. For example, new TV channels, internets, etc. So these are few points which explains why tertiary sector has become so important. However, we must keep in our mind that the entire tertiary sector has not grown. Only the highly educated and skilled professionals are able to get employment. Others engage themselves in low-paid jobs. For example, small shopkeepers, repair persons, transport persons, etc. You may be asked, what are the two groups of people employed in service sector? So come to page 25, first column, third paragraph, fifth line. At one end, there are limited number of services that employ highly skilled and educated workers. At the other end, there are a very large number of workers engaged in services such as small shopkeepers, repair persons, transport persons, etc. Let us now discuss the second topic, how to create more employment. So come to page number 27. Students, unemployment is a very serious issue, not only in India but the whole world. There are hundreds and thousands of people out here who do not have employment. In India, this problem is very severe because of the growing population and demand for jobs. In the previous video, we have seen that a large portion of population is engaged in agriculture sector only. It is therefore important to find ways to increase employment for the people. Let us discuss some points one by one. First, provision of infrastructure facilities like irrigation in rural areas. If you see the case of Lakshmi mentioned in your textbook, she has 2 hectares of unirrigated land. She depends only on rain. If she is provided some irrigation facility, she can take a second crop. This is possible if the government can spend some money or get her a loan through bank to dig a well. If Lakshmi goes for a second crop, say wheat, then the 2 members of the family who were underemployed will get employment in her own field. Now suppose a dam is created and canals are dug in that region. This will irrigate not one but many such families, many such farms. This will make agriculture more productive. Farmers can raise two or more crops during a year. That is, they will remain employed throughout the year. I hope you have understood this point. Let us now come to the second point, expansion of transport and trade in rural areas. Now suppose Lakshmi and other farmers will produce much more than before, then they may need to sell some of these. For this, they may require transport to a nearby town or market. So, if government invests in transportation and storage of crops or makes better rural roads so that mini trucks reach to their houses, they can continue to grow and sell their crops. This will not only help the farmers but provide employment to those who are in services like transport or trade. Let us discuss third point. Provision of cheap and easy credit facilities. Lakshmi's need is not confined to water only. She also needs seeds, fertilizers, agricultural equipments, etc. to carry out her farming activities. But she is poor. She cannot afford many of them. So she will go to the moneylender to borrow money. Moneylender will charge her a high rate of interest. So if a local bank gives her credit at a reasonable rate, she can buy all her requirements in time and cultivate her land. So cheap agricultural credit will help them improving their farming. Let us now come to the next point, setting up of industries and services in semi-rural areas. During the season, you may see potatoes rotting by the side of the road. Farmers throw them for the want of storage facilities. Opening a cold storage can help farmers to store their products like potatoes and onions, which they can sell when the price is good. It is also possible to set up industries that process vegetables and agricultural produce like tomatoes. Potato chips, tomato ketchups that you see all around can be produced in such semi-rural areas. Dal mills can be set in areas where there is a good production of pulses. Dal can be processed here before being sold in the cities. These industries can provide employment in those seasons where there is no work in agriculture. Construction of school buildings, health centers, etc. According to a study conducted by the erstwhile Planning Commission, if those children under 18 who are not going to school or working as child laborer, if they are to attend schools, we will require more buildings, teachers and staff. This can create nearly 20 lakh jobs in the education sector alone. Similarly, if we want to improve the health situation, we need more doctors and paramedical staff to work in rural areas. This will also create jobs in health sector. Let us now come to the next point, promoting rural craft and tourism. Promoting rural craft and rural tourism can also be done to generate employment. According to Planning Commission, if tourism as a sector is improved, every year we can give additional employment to more than 35 lakh people. Let us come to the next point, diversification of agriculture. We have already seen around half the people are employed in agriculture, but the farmers are producing only limited crops. So there is a need to diversify agriculture. Farmers should be encouraged to adopt pisciculture, horticulture, animal rearing, etc. along with cultivation of crops. This is also one way we can increase employment in the rural areas. Let us come to one of the most important points now. Whatever points that we have discussed before takes a very long time. Dams cannot be made in a very short period of time. Canals cannot be dug overnight. So, as a quick measure, the Government of India passed a law called NREGA 2005. NREGA stands for National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Nowadays, it is called Mahatma Gandhi NREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. The object of NREGA 2005 was to provide 100 days of guaranteed employment to those people in rural India who can work and are in need of work. If the government fails to provide employment, it will give unemployment allowance to the people. Thus, job under MNREGA is a legal entitlement. The type of activities undertaken under MNREGA is normally building of canals and dams, building of roads, construction of school, building community health centers and other public utilities. All these are labor intensive activities can create a large number of jobs. Students, you can now think in what ways employment can be increased in urban areas. Now, let us quickly take a glimpse of the questions asked in the board examination in the previous 2 years. Why is tertiary sector becoming so important in India? Explain the main reason. This has come as a 1-mark question in CBSE 2020. How can employment be created in agriculture sector alone? Explain any 3 ways. It has come as a 3-mark question in CBSE 2019. How can the problem of unemployment be eradicated in India? Explain any 3 ways. This has also come as a 3-mark question in CBSE 2019. With this, we come to the end of the topic planned for the day. Having watched this video, you must read your textbook now. I am sure you will have no problems to understand the topic. In the next class, we will read how economic activities are classified on the basis of employment conditions. Till then, stay home, stay safe and healthy. Have a nice day. Thank you.